Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by Always More Sims here on YouTube, and today we are finishing the rest of Majestic Mediterranean. So this is the furnishing segment. I just kept putting this off. This, for me, does not go up for another week, but I have just, every time I open The Sims 3, I have opened this save like 2 or 3 times with the intention to start furnishing. And then I would literally just kind of leave the computer to sit, and I wouldn't do anything with it. I just didn't want to furnish the house. But I finally got it done. It is done. I quite like it. I think it turned out okay. I don't think it's my best furnishing. Don't think it's the worst. I actually am really proud of the kitchen. I don't normally do like stone back, I was gonna say backdrops, and that is not right, but like stone like backwash. But this time I was like, okay, well, I've already done a bunch of different stuff with the outside of the house, so let's just go ahead and keep that going and do it on the inside of the house. So I did, and I also was doing like something like totally different with the countertops. I never used this like, I don't know if you'd call that marble, kind of marble. It's not white, but it's very pretty, but I've never used it. I was very scared using it. For some reason, I even was like doing the kitchen. I'm like, why am I not putting lights down? But there was like, I'm just like, I always put lights at the end. I don't want to put them now. But when I've got lights in the house, I thought it looked pretty good. So I was just like, yeah, sure. That works. So I am quite proud of the kitchen. I think it turned out really well at the end. If you didn't know, this is a 5-bed, 3-bath house. So even though we're gonna have like 7 or 8 kids this generation, I kind of 5 beds. 1, 2, no, 4. It's 4 bedrooms. It's 4 bedrooms, and then there's like this office space that could technically be a 5th bedroom. My game also crashed right as I was going to, I saved it, thank God. I would have been so mad if I had to redecorate, but my game crashed right as I went to export the file, so I will try to remember to get that exported next time I have my game open. But this is a 4-bed, 3-bath house, possibly a 5-bed, but whenever, our last house had the same amount of enough bedrooms for every kid we had, and that's great, fine, and wonderful, but I didn't have all 4 kids in the house at once, so I always had an empty bedroom. And then I've been doing I've had nurseries in the house, but when it's not a challenge where I have kids 24/7, the nurseries also tend to just kind of sit when I don't have any babies or toddlers anymore. So I kind of figured with this that it would be we would eventually have Sims sharing rooms. I mean, I intend to have triplets at some point. The triplets are probably going to share a bedroom. Maybe the girls can share a room, or the olders can share a room or something, or maybe the oldest will be moved out and still get their own, somebody will still get their own, I don't know. But I did not want to have the exact amount of rooms for every kid, or even the triplets are sharing. So then I want there's the triplets, and then I'm remembering Kendra. I don't have my notebook out for once. I'm getting it out though. Hold on. I really need to stop saying doing that thing. That is so unprofessional. Yeah, so I want Kendra, Will, the triplets, and then Lindy and Belle. So maybe Lindy and Belle could share their own room, and then the triplets will be in a room together, and then probably by the time we have Lindy and Belle, Kendra will be moved out. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I think it could be fun. And I mean, if push comes to shove, I can definitely fit a crib in the master bedroom. The master bedroom is quite big, so I think I can make that work. I think it'll all work out. But I just I very specifically, when I was making the house, I do not want the exact amount of rooms for every kid. I don't want 5 beds. I don't want 5 bedrooms just for kids. And I think this is how I'm going to continue to do it in the future, because I don't like having empty bedrooms. like having an empty bedroom at like all times. So yeah, this is also on a 30 by 35 lot, which is kind of an odd shape. It's not like a lot size you can place from like World Edit mode or anything. But I'm in Starlight Shores, and Starlight Shores is a very like hilly world, and it's really difficult to place lots that come out completely like looking good. So, and I didn't want to start like bulldozing lots either, because I'm like, surely I could make the lot fit. This lot fits like exactly on 30 by 35. It is pressed flush up against like pretty much all sides. I think there might be like one spare tile on like the far right side of the lot. And I mean, there, of course, like I have a really long driveway out front, but I wanted a long driveway. So you technically you don't need the long driveway and everything, but I also pulled, like, in the end you'll see me placing cars and the, like, videotape recordings are placed in the house, and then, like, the scooter is placed. Those stay in the world. Or actually, I don't know if I placed the scooter, because the scooter's in somebody's inventory, but I know I placed the recordings in the car. When I go to export that, I will not have the cars or the video recordings. Those will not be in the house. I intend on putting those, or the scooter. Those are all going back into my Sims inventories. Because, well, I don't know why you would want birthday recordings from the last 8 generations. No, I don't have the last 8 generations. Well, wait, yes, I think I do. I think I do, because they were saved to my Sims inventory when I had to switch saves, so that means they came with, thank God. I think I have all 8 generations of, I believe so. But 8 generations worth of birthday recordings, and, sorry, somebody was trying to FaceTime me, and I know that if I get off now, I won't be able to finish. Sorry, texting. But I don't know why you'd want that. The cars are both custom content. The only custom content thing I have on this house is the 3-tile garage. Everything else I made sure is from a pack. I don't think I even used any store content that I'm remembering. I don't think I used any store content, but I don't know, maybe I think it's just more habit. I'm like, well, people can't, download this house if they're missing, like, if they don't have store content, because I know that the Sims 3 store is, like, it can be really buggy, but I don't know, I think the house turned out quite nice. I do quite like it, and I had, like 3,000 simoleons or so to spend on this house, and I got down to it, and I still had like 80,000 simoleons left, and I'm like, this will not do. And that is why the cars that I placed for my Sims are super expensive. I have a 2021 Pilot that I placed for Tiana, and then I have like a 2017 Lincoln for Adam. I placed really expensive cars because I don't want that much money. And the thing is, like, I really like upgrading the cars, but I don't know if that'll be something I can do. Like, it might just be, because Tiana still has, like, the car that she learned to drive in, that, like, Mitsubishi Eclipse, I think is what it is. That's, like, an old Mitsubishi. Like, she still has that in her inventory, and so I currently have that actually sitting on, because I have 3 car spaces placed, like, 3 of those, like, what you park the cars on. I have 3 of those placed, 2 in the garage, 1 out on the driveway, because I like the look of a car sitting in the driveway. I like the realism of that. But we have, like, the car that she learned to drive in. I like having the extra car for when our kids are teenagers and they need to drive themselves places instead of taking the taxis or taking a bicycle or running or whatever. I prefer that they have a car once we teach them how to drive. And so, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with selling her, like, her old car and getting something nicer for the kids to eventually be driving, or maybe we'd have 2 cars because I do intend on having so many kids. I don't know, that's just something we'd have to figure out in the future. But I was like, I have too much money. It was literally to the point I was scrolling to like the bottom of things looking for the most expensive stuff that still kind of fit the house because I wanted to spend money. I was so against having money that I was to the point of looking for some of the most expensive stuff, but then at the same time I'm like, well, this doesn't really fit like the vibe of the house, the aesthetic, I guess. Like, I took forever trying to decide how I wanted to do the living room. The living room is very tight. It is very small. But I think we made it work. I don't totally love the living room, and I was debating getting rid of the fireplace, but I really like the fireplace. I never get to use this fireplace. I think it fits the house. So I just switched where the sliding glass doors to lead out onto the back patio. Like, I switched where those were. I got them off of the dining room now, and so I could put the TV there, and we made it work. But I had such a hard time finding like furniture that fit together that I liked. I mean, in the bedroom, I was seriously debating. I'm like, do I give them like a 4-poster bed just so I can spend more money? And then I'm like, no, I don't want to give them a 4-poster bed because it doesn't fit. And I was looking to burn money. I was like, do I need like the way oversized hot tubs in the back? Because I wanted to put a pool originally, and then the pools just looked ridiculous. I'm like, okay, so I'll just do a hot tub. So, like, I feel like the small ones look, like, I didn't like the small ones that I had. I went with the one, I think it's actually from Showtime, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I couldn't really come up with, like, a color that I liked. I just kind of gave up and went with the white swatch. But I was like, do I want one of the small ones or do I want to go with one of the bigger ones? But I could see the Sims like having issues getting around the bigger ones, and the bigger ones just looked so big and clunky, like up against either the landscaping or up against like the fence. It just looked weird, looked very out of place. I mean, the smaller ones do too, but not as bad as the like really big ones. So I went with one of the smaller ones. The bigger ones would have cost more, but I just didn't like how they looked. And then since I always marry off my kids, I normally, like, later on will just kind of make up a little, like, wedding spot, but I was like, I don't really know what to do with this other patio area since I already have a table and a grill up on the deck, so I'm like, I'll just put the wedding arch here instead of having to worry about it later on. I'll just do it now, because, like, why not? So I did. So there is also a wedding arch and some chairs included with the house when you download it. Feel free to get rid of that and put maybe some kid stuff. But I just know that I went like above and beyond for the last house with like, I think the outdoor like backyard area was really nice on the last house. I had a pool. I had, all the kids' playground stuff. And I like hardly used it. I remember Lawrence used it a little bit. I think Ray might have used it at some point. But I rarely ever used any of the stuff outside. To the point that I was like, why did I even go through this much trouble to make such like a high-end, I wouldn't say high-end, but like a really nice backyard when I never send my Sims outside to use it. I forgot I had the backyard stuff all the time, so I never used it. So I was kind of like wanting to avoid that here. At the same time, I wish I had something that was probably like a little more kid-friendly in the backyard. Like, I was looking around towards the end, I'm like, could I fit like a swing set out here? But I'm like, no, not really. It would cut into like the pavement, like the pathways, and I was just like, never mind. Probably will never use it anyway, so I just didn't bother. I mean, that's about it on the house. I think that is the longest I've ever talked about one of my Sims houses. Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's been kind of weird lately. I mean, everybody at my house kind of got sick. We weren't really sure what it was. Pretty much anybody we like talked to it about, they're like, oh my gosh, they're immediately, you have the virus. Well, we've gotten tested. No, The tests all came back negative. No, we don't have the virus. Some people are like, we didn't want to go to the doctors because the doctor is like, the past few times, like, anybody has gotten sick and we go to the doctor always is like, oh, you just have not, the Rona, but they'll be like, oh, you just have a virus, just wait it out kind of thing. We have not actually gotten any, like, useful help from the doctors recently, like, the last couple of years where we've gone. So we just didn't bother. But we had people thinking, oh, well, you have bronchitis because of the cough. And then other people like, oh, you have pneumonia because that's been going around. Well, my grandpa, and I've talked about my grandpa, but he's caught something. And we've heard that he had bronchitis. And then they told us he had pneumonia. And now they're saying he has I don't even know if I can say it, but the corona, the beer. He has the virus / pneumonia, but he's testing negative for the virus, so shouldn't it just be pneumonia? And it's just a whole mess. He's not doing too hot. Like, it was one of those things, like, we were trying to keep him from getting sick from us, so we didn't really, like, my grandpa lives with us, so we were trying to, like, keep him, like, self-quarantined, and I only saw him, like, once a day because our laundry room is in the basement, which is where my grandpa kind of is, like, living. That's where he's, like, set up shop. So, like, I would go down there, once or twice a day to, like, flip laundry. But my grandpa's never been one to tell me if something's wrong. But the thing is, now he's in the hospital, sick, and it's not looking too good. And I'm just, like, it's one of those things I can't help but thinking, like, well, if I had, like, actually, like, pushed when I asked, like, hey, are you okay? When I felt like he wasn't, but he wouldn't, like, he was telling me, no, I'm okay, just kind of tired, or I'm fine, like, I'm like, could I have, like, gotten him to the hospital sooner? Maybe he'd be doing better, kind of thing. I don't know. But, I mean, everybody here is finally doing better. I've been good for, like, a solid week or so now. I mean, my dad's been, like, going to work. My mom's a teacher, so she has summers off, but she's been doing a lot better. So it's just my grandpa that's kind of struggling right now, and I don't know, I babysit, and the parents I babysit for, understandably, they're kind of like, are you okay? Are you sure, you're okay? I'm like, I'm good. I wash my hands, like, extra carefully. Like, I wash my hands, like, even more now. And I'm not taking meds anymore, but I was like, I'm taking meds. I'm okay. I only get the cough when I start talking too much, and even now I'm not really. So I've been doing better. Everybody else but my grandpa's been doing better. And then I had Simon. If you remember, I had this little corgi chihuahua, and I've had him for going on 2 weeks, and I still feel like I have made no progress with him at all. He got stuck under my bed earlier this week, and I had, like, the hardest time getting him out, like, to the point I didn't think I'd be able to get him out. And because of that, I had to do kind of some, like, rough handling to get him situated and, like, unstuck. And any trust I had with this dog was just gone. It's non-existent. So, I've been slowly working it back up. He's on anxiety meds now, which I'm hoping will help. I'm not really around when the drugs kick in. I'm normally out and about because I give it to him in the morning and then I give it to him at night. He's a lot clumsier and he's not as, like, terrified, but I have yet for him to really, do much outside of just sit in his kennel all day. And I don't really like him going under the bed since he got stuck. I'm very cautious of him going under the bed because he likes to hide under the bed. So he just really hangs out in his crate. But yeah, it looks like we're in the screenshots now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I have 2 things down in my description. One is my gaming channel. One is also a poll. When this challenge ends, we're going to be switching over to another challenge. You guys get to choose what that is, whether it's Sims 3 or Sims 4. I will also, as soon as I get my game back open and I can get the house exported, I will have a download link to the house that I'll be putting in the description as well. And then I will go back and I will also put it in part 1. So in the building of the house, I will have it there as well. I think that is everything. We will be playing in this house next time you see it. So on Wednesday, we will be in this house. We will be getting started. I think that is everything. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye, guys.